accept it or not.
So what do you do when you're a young, aspiring firefighter, only 22, and you're told that within a year you'll be blind? Well, that's what happened to our next guest, Chris Delaney, humanitarian, high-performance athlete, and author of Blind Strength: How to Adapt, Overcome, and Reinvent Yourself in the Wake of Adversity. And he joins us this morning on the couch to tell us more about this.
Thank you very much for having me, Tim. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. This is a big old book. This is a big, heavy book.
Yes, it is.
And I know there's a lot that has come to get to this book.
Yeah.
Okay. So
30 years in the making, actually.
This is 30 years in the making. Okay.
So I wanted to create a book that had value that people can really benefit from.
Okay. Let's go back. 22.
Okay. Yep.
What happened?
22, I've been in the fire department for 3.5 years. Started off volunteering. And I was
in Burlington?
Yeah, in Burlington, yep. And I was aspiring to play in the CFL. And then I started seeing flashes of light, and I would look to see what it was. Maybe it was a flash bulb going off or something, and nothing was there. In the matter of 6 months, I went from perfect vision to legally blind, and I was losing my vision. That was the early signs that the optic nerves were dying, and it was a result of concussions from contact sports, oddly enough, yeah. So unfortunately,
sports was such a big part of your life.
It was my life. It was my identity. I'm an athlete, trainer, and now physically I saw myself as broken. I couldn't perform at the level I was. So at 22, when you're just starting your life, firefighting was gone. My relationship broke up. I had no money. My income was gone. Football was gone. I mean, I basically was left with less than nothing. And everyone thinks you have to do big things to change your life. And I'm sitting here thinking, wow, I'm in real trouble here. And so, unfortunately, I started concentrating on what I couldn't do. And that was unfortunately where a lot of people, when they get hit with adversity, they kind of retreat back to their home, back to the room, and they start thinking, well, the negatives. And that's what happened, unfortunately, to me. I started thinking of all the things that I couldn't do, and that was my mistake. To escape the realities in the evenings, I'd go out with friends. Just go out for Sunday night football, Monday night football. Next thing you know, I'm out every night trying to escape reality in the silence of the evenings, because that was the toughest. Every night I'd go to bed. For the first year, they said they don't know where it's going to stop. And so I'm watching my vision deteriorate week to week, every week. So one minute I'm sitting back on the couch watching television 10 feet away. Next week I'm 9 feet away. Next month I'm 8, 7, 6.
Where are we at with your vision now?
Right now I just see a person sitting in front of me. I see you. I don't see anything else. I don't see any fine details. It's like, if I was to describe it, it'd be like looking through an ice cube. It's all blurry. Everything's blurry. So when I'm in and I wake up, open my eyes, everything is blurry, and then right until the time I go to bed.
So over these 30 years, it's been trying to figure out how to still live.
Yeah, I unfortunately when I started going out and mixing alcohol now, because that's what most people do, right? They escape reality, they get trapped in this, I'm gonna go out, have one drink leads to two, and it was never anything I ever did before this. But you're out and about, and people buying you drinks, trying to help you. That was, unfortunately, I started spiraling downwards, and I ended up eventually carrying out an attempt to end my life.
And you had friends to help you out? If
it wasn't for two friends that unexpectedly dropped by my house one day to take me out to lunch to see how I was doing, they found me slumped at the kitchen table. I had taken a bottle of antidepressants, and all of a sudden they rushed me to the hospital, where doctors saved my life. And after seeing the pain that this brought onto my mom, and with a newfound appreciation for life and those who worked hard to save mine, I vowed right there to return to the mindset of an athlete and rise to the challenge. And that's what I vowed to do.
And help others in the wake of their own adversity. And that's what this book, all 300 and how many pages?
There's quite a few, about 500 pages.
500 pages.
But again, it's not just my story. I didn't want to just write a book that was going to have my story and that would be it. I wanted to write my story, but then also share the exercises that I had to create. So again, everyone thinks that you have to do big things. So I had nothing. I was starting at less than nothing. And so I needed to think of as an athlete. So when you go to the gym, I put a plan in place, right? You put a plan in place and you perform and you reach your goals. As a trainer, that's my job, is to help my clients reach their goals by putting the proper measures in place. Mentally, I had to strengthen my mind, and I had to increase my spirits. And so how do I do that when you have nothing to work with? Well, I started looking at the body as a bicep. We all have biceps and triceps.
Yeah.
Some flex them more than others on a regular basis, and when they do that, they get stronger. Well, what I had to do was I had to look at, okay, for my mind, what can I do? Well, that's when I was talking to a therapist, and they said creativity. It's so important to helping you overcome adversity.
Getting those thoughts down on paper and into a book. And unfortunately, we've run out of time. But this will help people. And I know you've already talked to people that it's already helped, that are just getting into the initial stages of the adversity that they're getting into.
Yeah, and from that terrible time, I went on to Cycle Canada.
Yep.
One of the first blind people to Cycle Canada. Went on to build schools in Africa, raise millions in awareness and funds, create a revolutionary food product, and I've done all this in 30 years.
And now you got a big old book called Blind Strength: How to Adapt, Overcome, and Reinvent Yourself in the Wake of Adversity. You can find it on Amazon. Locally, you can find it where, Chris?
At Epic Books and A Different Drummer.
Okay. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you very much
Best of
for
luck.
having me. Thank you.
Thank you for all you've been doing.
Thank you.
And continue to do.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.